Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Now if you're hoping that turning the calendar into May is going to bring some warm spring weather, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. But on the other hand, if you'd like a bit more winter on the mountains, then that's what we've got for you in the week ahead, as unusually cold patterns stick around across the British Isles. In the short-term forecast, we're watching what's going on into Bank Holiday Monday because an active area of low pressure is set to move in with the risk of upland gales and some rain and hill snow in the forecast. Just to highlight the extent of cold weather during the week ahead, this is a temperature anomaly chart, and this is the departure from the long-term averages for the first week of May, and you can see how it's not just the British Isles that will see chillier than average conditions, extensive across northern and even central Europe. Below average temperatures by several degrees will be in the forecast, all being fed by a persistent northerly airflow across the continent. It's all become quite a familiar pattern in many recent weeks. It's becoming quite a remarkable spring in that respect. The charts for the days ahead then look something like this. High pressure is away to the west and the north as we go into Saturday. A very slack pressure pattern in charge across Britain. We've got very little wind and we have some showers. Those will break out increasingly through the daytime. Most widely by the afternoon will drift around slowly. They'll be quite hit and miss. Not everywhere will see them, but they'll contain some hail, some snow flurries on the hills, and very locally the odd heavy one might just have a rumble of thunder. The cloud will be pretty high up, so most of the hills and mountains often in the clear, but a few patches forming on the higher slopes around those showers. Excellent visibility away from showers, just deteriorating when they do occur. It's a similar sort of setup into Sunday, not too much wind, although we will just see a gradual strengthening of a westerly breeze across England, Wales and the south of Scotland. A scattering of showers around, maybe not quite as widespread and as potent as Saturday. We're just seeing a slight lift of pressure, things stabilising somewhat, but still the odd heavy shower could still be around, I think around the Cairngorms through into the afternoon. Some hail, again some snow, just a low risk of an isolated rumble of thunder, some sunshine around, and again most of the mountains free of low cloud apart from a few patches where the showers are around. Notice out toward the west we have an area of low pressure and a front just starting to appear, and that's the forerunner of a weather system developing into Monday. Now, there's still a degree of uncertainty just how this feature behaves. It's undergoing development at this moment in time, so we need to watch the progress of that in the next day or so. But the message for Monday is that things deteriorate, and we're likely to see the wind strengthening towards gale force on many mountains, soonest most likely across Wales, getting into northern England too. There's a chance that the strongest of the winds don't quite get in until later in the day, and indeed much of Scotland may not see those gales develop even through much of the daytime, but still expect the wind to be stronger compared to the weekend. Extensive precipitation spreading from the southwest. Again, there's some uncertainty. Don't treat this chart absolutely as the final answer to this, but it's likely to become fairly widespread. And on the northern side of these fronts, the air is still distinctly chilly, and we could well see snowfall to even modest elevations in the highlands, possibly even the southern uplands, and even for a time across the hills of northern England. That likely more turning to rain as milder air temporarily gets in within the warm sector, coming in across Wales and northern England with time, so temperatures lifting there and turning much of that to rain. But we do just need to watch for that scope for some extensive snowfall. As I say, I think the highlands at greatest risk of that. We need to watch the forecast very closely. Any talk of mild air, though, is very quickly out of the way, because as we go into the middle of the week, as low pressure exits stage right, we drag in another northerly airflow and another marked drop of freezing level, a cold front sweeping away southwards. We're all back into the chilly air by this stage, and most of our higher mountains from Scotland to northern England and Wales will be below freezing point. A little bit of a lift of temperature through the daytime, but with what's likely to be a strong, perhaps even gale force north-northwesterly wind, severe wind chill factor will be in existence, and we can expect some further showers with some snow and some hail once again. So for the early days of May, it's still feeling very wintry on the mountains at this stage. Detail becomes a bit awkward by the middle of the week, but there's not a great deal happening in terms of the temperatures. It's staying cold. We're still under a generally chilly air mass that's come around from the north. We're just watching another zone of low pressure trying to slide in from the Atlantic. Basically, I think it's a message of some further showers, some snow and some hail coming down even to lower slopes at times, and the higher mountains likely to stay below freezing point, especially in Scotland. May just lift a little bit above freezing on the highest tops in England and Wales, but not by much. That's the big picture then, middle of the week, and it's low pressure that's somewhere around Scandinavia by this stage, the airflow then all coming around from the north. The detail is sketchy. I think the idea of further little zones of low pressure being around is what we're going to see, so just maintaining a story of showers, some gusty winds at times, and all in all, a rather chilly story. Maybe just some changes though as we head towards next weekend. By this point, low pressure somewhere around the Azores just starts to edge towards us, and that scoops up more of a milder south or southwesterly airflow that shows signs of moving in towards Britain as we get into next weekend. That could bring some much warmer conditions, but also look at that area of low pressure. There's the risk of some rather unsettled conditions too with that, so the risk of some strong winds, some rain at times. The main message is probably just that improvement of temperatures to something milder, but before we get to that, another cold week on the mountains is to be expected. You can stay up to date with all your local forecasts every day on our website. That's been your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.